Hopefully Jed will be down here. There's some cantaloupe and apples out. Donuts. Oh, the little hot dogs. Pigs in a blanket. Deviled eggs.
Things got pretty heated back there.
Oh, hey kid, you don't have to do that.
Too late.
I wanted to apologize. For all of us. We're all grieving, but that's no excuse. It was your brother's wake, and you both deserve better than listening to a bunch of fools squabble.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. That was pretty rough. Although it's hard to imagine a good version of your dead brother's wake.
No, there's no good version. Just all of us trying to get through it together the best we can. Wasn't the first wake held in this old building. I doubt it'll be the last. Anyway, if there's anything I can do, just let me know.
I need to talk to Mac. I know he's lying. I just don't know why. Any idea where I can find him?
Well, he helps out Eleanor at the flower shop. That'd be the place to start.
Thanks.
I feel like I should warn you, though. You might not get the kind of closure you're looking for. If you get any at all. Just don't pin all your hopes on Mac Loudon.
I get it. Probably.
Thanks for looking out for me, but what else am I supposed to do?
I wish I had an answer for you. But if you get a chance before you go all dirty Harry, swing by the dispensary. Charlotte wants to see you. And one more thing. I've been meaning to give you this for the last few days, but I didn't want to disturb you up there. It'll get you through that door and the one upstairs.
Keys to the house.
This is your home now, for as long as you'd like.
Yeah, what about rent? I'd feel bad about that.
What about rent? I don't want to be a freeloader.
Don't worry about that for right now. We'll work out a way for you to earn your keep when the time comes.
Thank you.
Give him hell.
Oh, phone notification. From whom?
I have no idea what to even say to him.
'Cause Ryan was the one cut the rope. Alex, I'm so sorry. I should have saved him. I don't know what to say. Hey, that was terrible. You shouldn't have had to see that. I know you're going through a lot, but can we talk? I know it's asking a lot, but I think I really need to talk to you. Ryan was Gabe's best friend and is probably just so overcome with guilt because he had to make a split-second decision there. Because either Gabe dangling at the end of the rope, his weight would have been too much for Alex. They both could have been dragged over the edge if, I mean, the rocks were coming down too. At the very least, Alex could have been crushed as well. And then because Ryan was there trying to help her pull him up, Ryan had to make the decision to cut the rope. Fortunately, I think Ethan was already under the overhang. But yeah. My block, so their little version of Nextdoor Facebook. Gabe was the most caring person I've ever met. He never stopped looking for ways to make life better. Whether that meant coming to Haven to find his dad. Wait, coming to Haven to find his dad. Wait a minute. Does that mean their father could be here? Or fighting to get a grill all the way up the stairs to his rooftop. He was always willing to help anyone else who wanted to improve their lives. He probably put even more hours into my college interview than I did. He was the kind of person that you meet once in a lifetime. Goodbye, Gabe. I'll miss you forever. Lovely message, dear. I'm here if you want to talk. Same here. Other guys in town? Maybe they're interested in her as well. 56 likes. I wonder how many people are in the town. We're having a send-off for Gabe Chen at the Lantern on Wednesday at 9 a.m. All are welcome. There's the Danger Cougar area. I wonder if that's... Did they put the model with a little paint over of a... It looks like it. Bring something that reminds you of him. I'll bring some food for everyone too. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, Silver Dragon will be operating at irregular hours. Sorry for the next few weeks. Check the website for more details. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let us know if I can do anything for you. Hang in there. You're not alone. I open the shop for you if you need whatever I can do. The Gunnison County Sheriff's Department is working hard to serve and protect the citizens of Haven Springs. If you have any questions or concerns or would like to report a crime for vandalism, you can contact us over the phone, through our website, or by speaking with a deputy. When will the hiking trails be open again? Unfortunately, the trails we've closed are still are part of an active investigation, so they must be meaning the way up to the mines. We'll get them open again as soon as we can. Can't we just put this to bed? It was where he shouldn't have been. Stuff happens. Someone's eager to give Typhon a pass. A person died. Doesn't that mean anything to you people? The poster is disabled. Any further replies? So already people are upset that they're being inconvenienced by the investigation. They need a handyman for the upstairs shower. Oh, so Ryan isn't feeling well. I'd offer to lend you Ryan, but he might be a while before he's feeling better again. Oh, so someone used to be a handyman back in Philadelphia. Ah, Eleanor's made a post too. In all the darkness that surrounds the death of a loved one, I think it's most important to remember the good times, so I wanted to share one of my favorite memories of Gabe Chen. I just sold him a bouquet, and he admitted that he'd put his foot in his mouth again with his girlfriend, and needed to make it up to her. I sent him on his way with some lovely tulips, but 15 minutes later, there he was again. I asked Charlotte if I should have tulips. Wait, if I could have her tulips in exchange for these tulips. So, now I'm back. Wait, what? These tulips? Her tulips in exchange for tulips? Ah, what a guy. Practically kept us in business. I think I actually remember this. Guy could sure light up a room. No kidding. Aw, so he was a jokester.
I feel sick.
We here at Typhon Mining were shocked and saddened to hear about Gabe Chen's death. Such loss of life is always tragic and affects many in our community. We would like to take this time to assure the community that Typhon remains committed, as always, to following the strictest safety practices in the industry. Your community is our community, and we will cooperate with any and all law enforcement investigations until this matter can be properly laid to rest. And they disabled replies. We have some more text messages, too. Just about the meeting. Alex, I'm so sorry. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. So, Steph saying, so sorry, I loved Gabe. I can only imagine what you're going through. Please call me if you need anything. Alex, I'm so sorry. You don't have to respond. I just wanted to tell you. Thank you for saving Ethan's life. I don't know what I would do if I lost him. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. Ah, so this is the Ethan fear. It's so easy for your brain to turn on you, the same part of you that tells stories and makes art and gives the world order and beauty and meaning is the part where nightmares grow, and sometimes those nightmares leak out, seep into the world around you. I can still see Ethan collapsing on himself at the edge of the ravine, so scared that he couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I reached out because I had to reach out. I submitted to his fear because I couldn't think of any other way forward. And it worked. We made it back, and I collapsed on the hard, solid ground, and I kept thinking, this is who you can be, if you want to be. Someone who helps people, someone who understands. For a few seconds, everything was so clear. But then the ground wasn't solid anymore, and Gabe was gone. What good am I to anyone if I couldn't stop that? I thought I could hunt it. I thought I could be brave. Nothing can save you. There's nothing to save. None of it will save me. Ninth Warden wouldn't be afraid. I thought I could hunt the monster. So these were Ethan's thoughts, and she's writing her own lyrics. Do, 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 do. So she's starting to write a song. Pretty. Any other ones? Ah, Steph and sorrow. Steph's sadness was born out of love. It wasn't empty. There was dimension to it, a form and volume of loss that I could step inside. And there I met a Gabe who felt much like my own, only more so. An instigator, a listener, a prodder, a cheerleader, a shit stirrer. A brother, basically. It wasn't long, but it was enough to know exactly what Steph needed. The best piece of my brother I could conjure for her from thin air for just a moment. So I kicked her butt in foosball and celebrated it in the most obnoxious way I could, naturally. It was dumb and goofy and over in a flash, but in its wake the sadness was lifted and Gabe didn't seem quite as gone as before. First Ethan, now Steph. I think I'm finally starting to understand this thing. Gabe was right. It is a gift to connect to someone, to feel that they are what they are feeling, to help them. Just wish he'd been around to tell me earlier. Foosball champion? Don't. Yeah, in my yard. Okay, I'll be crashing here tonight. Move to Denver, one more game. M and EM. C, so maybe these are chords. Yeah, sometimes when I write my music and I'm taking annotations, if I don't have my book that has all the bars on it, I will just write generally what you think the bars would be. So I want to make things right. I don't want to fight. So I'll be crashing here tonight. Don't turn off the lights. I wonder if any of these will become songs. Wait a minute. I didn't actually see these other ones. Because there was Mac and Anger. But who's Isabel and Tessa? Tessa, bitter and jealous and a little queasy. That's what anger tasted like. Didn't even have time to step back. Seconds later, I was rushing across the room. What a mess. I split her lip open, poor thing. I wonder how long it'll take to heal. It's hard to clean blood off your clothes. It makes you feel wrong. I don't really blame her for being upset. She thinks I get special treatment at home, but I don't. It doesn't matter. Now, she keeps to herself. Most of the other kids do, actually. So that'll be business as usual until a new group comes in and this starts all over again. The worst part? They confiscated my guitar. 2-week ban. At least I get it back. I promise, it's not what you say. No favors, no secrets, none coming my way. And after all this, you still had to pay. Isabel, anguish. I tried to write this so many times, and they all ended up in the trash. Let's see how far I can get. I really liked Isabel. She was sweet and loved to paint, and smuggled in a few beers for us on weekends. But her depression was brutal. It crept under my fingernails and made my eyelids feel like stone, and I had to focus to just keep breathing, like dipping your ribcage in lead. It was hard to get away from, and eventually it got to be too much. 2 bottles of sedatives, lying in vomit, her eyes open and glassy and afraid. I'm sorry, Isabel. I thought we could have stayed friends. When we finally got out of this vanilla-flavored holding pen, I wish that you could have stuck around for just a little longer. If I ever see you again, I'll bring the beer. Aw. Wait, no! More phone stuff? Oh, it's stuff talking about moving. A year ago, I was ready to ditch this place. Keep moving, like I always do. And a year ago, Gabe was the reason I stayed, but even though he's gone now, and even though I miss him like hell, I still have reasons to stay. Thanks for showing me that, Alex. Even if you do cheat at foosball. Girl, please. I am the champ fair and square. Mac Loudon has deleted their comment. Was Mac trying to comment under this to talk with Alex potentially? Oh boy.
Gabe would have appreciated having beer at his wake.
Whose umbrella is this?
Guess nobody needed this. Forecast called for rain, but the skies have been clear. Is that Jed without his beard?
Oh, looks like he was in the military. Oh, the memory table.
I should put something here. It's the least I can do. Gabe Chen, smooth criminal.
Real wise guy. Posted speeds 25, actual speed 35, fine $80. Ooh.
They must have been close. Poor Ethan.
Oh no, it's hideous. Is that a version of the monster? By Gabe and Ethan. Oh, so Ethan probably drew Traynor, and this was Gabe's attempt at drawing a monster.
I wish we'd had more time. I hope Ducky didn't finish this by himself. Courtesy of Haven's favorite DJ, I bet. Maybe I can find something upstairs to put on the memory table. If I never saw mining equipment ever again, it'd be too soon.
Yeah, she's probably gonna have a personal beef with the mine.
Yeah, I could waste some quarters about now. Why do I feel like this is a challenge?
Fiery something? Fiery death. Why? Why did I do this to myself? Hot take. Death awaits. Too much spice.
I'll spend the rest of my life wondering what would have happened if Ryan hadn't cut that rope. I bet he will too. Damn, Ducky.
Ducky? Everyone else? Pool wins. Oh, I love pool too.
Would have been fun to let Gabe kick my ass at pool.
Wait, leave it or sad face? Oh, I see. There's a face over there. I'll just leave it. It's not that I'm indifferent about it. It's that it's nice to have a smiley face here and there. Well, if she wants to put something on the table... Ah, trapped. Then I wonder if I should go upstairs or will that end the day? I don't believe it would end the day. What can I put on the memory table?
Wonder what I can find up here to add to Gabe's memory table.
Because it should be Shushu. Shouldn't be the photos or the essay or the glasses.
Gabe really meant the world to Steph. Gabe used to swat the controller out of my hands if he thought I was going to beat him. Jerk. I wonder how she's really holding up.
Maybe the album?
This is perfect for the memory table.
Yep, because that was the thing that he had ordered for her. King's Leon.
Glad I have something to add to Gabe's table.
All right, let's place the album.
A fun, goofy album for my goofy, fun big brother.
Oh, so it's the Wall of Shame. Ah, for people who got drunk. Most likely. Wonder what all those notes are for. Is that Typhon notes? It looks like something affiliated with Typhon.
RM and TB. I wonder who they were.
I don't recognize anyone with those initials. Ooh, the skull.
Jed definitely has a decorating style. I'd call it steakhouse chic.
I mean, looking at the moose, taxidermied moose and whatnot, definitely reminds me of, what, Bugaboo Creek? I used to love Bugaboo Creek as a kid. Somewhat for the bread. I did feel bad for the taxidermied animals. Poor things. But the thing is, there was the Buffalo Bill one that would actually talk and sing. It was amusing. And occasionally a fish would flap on the wall, or there'd be a raccoon sticking out of a barrel or whatnot. And there was, oh, Timber the Tree. Don't even get me started with that guy. He'd scare people at the entrance to the restaurant.
Okay, Jed said I might find Mac in the flower shop. But I have time to swing by the dispensary if I want.
Yeah, I'm probably going to save speaking with Mac for last and do everything else if I can.
On one hand, there's the open road and the freedom to run away from my problems. On the other, helmet hair.
You heard about the accident. Was it on the news? No, no one's been fired. Yet.
The miners are probably concerned about what's going to occur.
Yes, Mom. I still have a job at Typhon. They still have plans to expand.
I wonder how many fish Ducky's caught in this thing.
Oh. Oh, I thought it said duck rather than dock.
Do I even want to stay here without Gabe? In this state I've never been to before. This town I've been in for less than a week. Not that I know where else I'd even go. Back to the nothing waiting for me in Portland. I have no idea what comes next. But I'm not leaving here without answers about Gabe. At least I know that. The park looks fun to explore. If not for the paddling, kayaking would be super relaxing.
I love kayaking. Wander and I went to Trillium Lake over the summer. Got to do a little bit of spontaneous kayaking. They do have rentals there. And it was nice. There were a lot of lily pads and ducks and dragonflies. And the dragonflies were actually rather obnoxious. But they're so pretty at the same time.
Tragically, now isn't the time to check out the rest of Haven.
That's interesting. Is there a road? Blocked off conveniently by a cart.
I haven't been a bartender long, but I'm pretty sure these are supposed to stay in the bar.
Don't litter.
Sorry about leveling all your mountains. Here's a bench.
Provided courtesy of the Typhon Haven Springs Beautification Committee. How ironic. Ooh, they have some lights going up the trees.
You're writing a novel? Since when?
I just started. I have no idea what I'm doing.
They have
Babe,
muffins.
this is great. We wanted to take a class together, right? Let's do creative writing.
But that wouldn't start until summer.
What's the rush?
I guess No, you're right. You're right.
Ooh, pretty.
This is cool. In a Wicker Man sort of way.
Probably carved directly from the tree. So that the base is actually a part of it. Newspaper guy. You just reading? Ooh. Another tree sculpture. Is this supposed to be the green man of the forest?
I don't think this whole town is a pagan cult, but I can't rule it out either.
Also, are all those lupine? I love lupine. They're such pretty flowers. Relative of the pea plant.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the spring festival ends with a ritual sacrifice.
Oh, but come on. That's a
Too
trout.
bad I can't just run away from all this.
Oh, it's Ethan. Will he even be up for talking about this? Oh, I forgot all about my abilities. Can I... He's sad about something.
This is awful. He was so young.
He must be reading about Gabe.
Yeah, that's precisely what it is. Okay, what about writer boyfriend? He's fearful.
What if I die tomorrow? Just like that guy. What have I done with my life?
I don't have any easy answers for that.
So being young, he's looking at his life's prospects as a writer and whatnot, and he's concerned that life will be too short and he will not have accomplished what he wanted to. Oh, it looks like I can't actually select him.
It's gonna be a vote.
What are they gonna vote on? I could stand by and overhear these conversations, but I should really talk with Ethan. Unless Ethan... I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to talk because he was the impetus, but...
Everyone needs to stop telling me it's okay. It's not.
Losing Gabe's been hard enough for a supposed grown-up like me. But for Ethan...
New dialogue unlocked.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Alex.
Do you... want to talk about it?
I'm fine.
Okay. Definitely not mine.
He might ask me to leave him alone.
He looks so... alone.
I wonder if I can see more.
Everyone needs to stop.
He looks so... alone. I'm here for you, whenever you need me.
Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe we should have asked him how he was rather than if we wanted to talk specifically about what happened with Gabe. This is just out back behind some of the houses. Oh, let's go to the main street. Ooh, disc golf.
What if I'm secretly a total prodigy at disc golf, but never had the chance to find out? Probably for the best, honestly. At least back then, the only people dying in mining accidents were miners.
Oh, there's Pike.
Bet Pike's really had his work cut out for him these last few days.
Aw, he's sad.
Gabe was too young. Just too young.
Hey, Pike.
Hey! How you holding up?
Guess I've been better.
Yeah, right. Dumb question. Hey, I want you to know I meant what I said back there. Gabe was something else. He could bring a smile to my face even on the worst days.
Yeah, that's what everyone's been saying.
And, when you're ready, I still need to get your statement for the investigation.
Mm.
I think I'll be ready soon.
Yeah. Yeah. No rush.
Yeah, because I just don't want to outright blame Mac, but if he was the one on duty that night, someone had to have gotten the call. Unless Gabe was acting, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't act. So someone accepted the call but went through with it anyway. Neither it was Mac or it was someone else pretending to be Typhon.
Insert epiphany about new beginnings here.
Those are really pretty wildflowers. I wonder what they are.
Tragically, now isn't the time to check out the rest of Haven.
I suppose it's a little bit off the beaten path. I'll continue down the street. We should definitely talk with Charlotte. Wait, what's this? The bear place? Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, here we go.
Nice to know. Hipsters can survive at this altitude.
Retail space for lease.
This location gets all the foot traffic. And word around the water cooler is the mining company is about to expand. More jobs means more customers for you.
What about that accident? Frankly, I'm a little spooked. If Typhon goes under, I'd lose all my business.
It's very unlikely that anything will...
Hope customers here are a lot nicer than in Denver.
Never been to Denver, but I guarantee they're nice here.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm sold.
Glad to hear it. I'll draw up the contract and call you tomorrow to talk next steps.
Great.
It's bullshit. We have a right to know what's happening to our jobs.
You guys don't think anything's really gonna change, right?
It's hard to say.
Yeah, because they won't tell us a damn thing.
I just still can't wrap my head around it. Someone died?
It's a shit situation, but the least they could do is be upfront with us about our job security.
Exactly.
I just hope the council passes the vote.
So he's just angry.
Anyone seen Loudon?
Not since his shift that night.
Might be a good time to check out the dispensary. Jed said Charlotte wants to talk to me. Nothing says festive like 3 exclamation points. I might be too close to the issue to have an unbiased opinion.
Yep, it's about the mine. Everyone seems to be so hopeful about it bringing jobs to the community, but what about the town's safety?
One doctor had me try meditation. I always just fell asleep.
Ah, so what is this? Chakra and such?
Wind chimes. The original jam band.
Oh, wind chimes of all varieties. Treasures of Tibet. I know that on Steam, the game was being review bombed by a bunch of angry users from China.
Might be a good time to check out the dispensary. Jed said Charlotte wants to talk to me.
Because they don't like any mention of Tibet or Taiwan or Hong Kong being independent. It's just...
Might be a good time to check out the dispensary. Jed said Charlotte wants to talk to me.
Yes, I know.
Want to do something together next week?
Oh, the guy friend. Wait.
Sure. I have a pottery class Wednesday night. Want to join?
Class? Maybe? Could we get dinner first? Come on, man. Can't you take a hint? She's not into you. Let it go.
That's rough.
Yeah, I usually grab a bite with Katie. You should come.
Oh, that's beautiful. I wonder if Charlotte painted that.
Guess they didn't feel like might be a good time to check out the dispensary.
Wait,
Jed said Charlotte wants to talk to me.
I said, so she's just really giving reminders at this point. I wanted to see what she said about the painting.
Guess they didn't feel like painting the mine.
Yep, they painted nature instead. All right, let's go see what's up with Charlotte.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no.
We met briefly. You're Gabe Chen's sister, right?
Alex, yeah.
She's from Typhon.
I didn't know him well, but I could tell he had a big heart. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Because we had served her the previous night at the table. Meat pie with fries, if I remember right. That's a really cool dragon. I don't do any drugs or things of that sort.
Charlotte? Alex, hey. Jed said you wanted to see me? I just wanted to see how you were doing.
Yeah, staying busy.
I've been trying to stay busy mostly. Yeah, distractions help. How about you? I can't even imagine what you're going through. Honestly, I'm really trying to keep it together for Ethan. He's hurting. He does seem distant. He practically just lost a father. But he's shutting me out. He's never done that before. Not when it mattered.
Show him you're hurting too. That's with a big line under it. Or he needs time. I wonder what the line means.
He's a pretty insightful kid. He knows how much you're hurting, even when you try to hide it from him. Instead of trying to be strong, maybe the best thing you can do is show him that it's okay to hurt.
Oh, right, because he said that he didn't like it that people were telling him.
That's really helpful, Alex. Thank you.
That everything was okay and to just brush it off. The adults need to serve an example.
I can't get over the feeling that the one person who could help me deal with the aftermath of Gabe's death is Gabe. What is this?
Are they offering compensation?
An affidavit from Typhon. If I sign, I'm agreeing not to press charges in exchange for a payment. A big one.
Oh. I mean, that is shady. They just want to shut her up.
That's so shady. Why would they be offering you money if they didn't do anything wrong? They say it's an offer of good faith. But you're right. He's dead because of them. And I'd be letting them off. Are you gonna sign it? I don't know. I'm trying to put Ethan first, but... What would you do? Do you think it would be a betrayal of Gabe?
This is tough because it's a lot of money and the money could go towards helping Ethan, getting him through college, things like that. But the reason why they offer this is so that they don't lose more in a lawsuit. But do we even know that they intentionally were behind it? Or really, it all boils down to whether or not someone took the call and neglected to act. Because Gabe was assured that they had canceled. I would turn the offer down.
I don't think you should sign it. I'm sorry. I know it's hard, but you can't let Typhon buy you off. Gabe made that call, and I'm gonna prove it. I need some time. Thanks for being honest. If they're willing to pay Charlotte to keep quiet, they're definitely hiding something. I really appreciate you stopping by. Feel free to take a look around if you want. Yeah, okay. Sweet logo. Bet Charlotte designed it herself.
Yep. As I said before, not too interested in marijuana or any of the paraphernalia assigned with it. I like the art.
I really love Charlotte's style.
Cactus.
There's something you don't see in Portland.
Oh, look at that creature. It's like an effigy of some sort. look of fright. Just trying to make the same expression.
That's a zemi. In the Dominican, they're said to house the spirits of gods. Mostly, I just like how it looks.
It's really cool.
God, put some clothes on. I could totally paint that. I just don't want to.
That's what a lot of people say about artists and their artwork. Being an artist myself, whenever you hear that from someone, it's, well, you need to, you know, if you have the time, the skill, the dedication, the practice, yeah, maybe you could paint something like that someday. But
these are my kind of discount.
A little steep.
But can you really put a price on a kid's dreams?
for sale, $1,000. That's really cool. Ethan Harmon. I can't tell if that's a lady or a man, but they look like they're a regal paladin of some sort.
Nice contribution, Gabe.
Aw, Gabe was here. What's that plaque?
And he did it all with one rusty saw and a bottle of gin. Impressive.
Built in 1919, the Qualfeather Sanatorium operated successfully until its closing in 1927. Wait, it didn't last very long. Under the guidance of Dr. Martin Kellogg, over 500 influenza and tuberculosis patients were treated and cured. Wow, interesting. So, makes sense that her business would be here then.
I'm gonna figure out why Mac's lying.
Well, not too much else interests me in here. I don't also want to feature this because YouTube, but let's get out. Oh right, it's those guys, the miners, talking about Mac.
Still need to check the flower shop for Mac.
Another reason why I didn't really want to hang out in there was I remember when Wander and I were on our study abroad in Croatia, a lot of students got into the hookah stuff because it was available over there. There was proximity to Bosnia and other countries where it was more popular. And when Wander and I were off in Budapest on a vacation, our apartment mates had these were other students in the illustration major, invited over a bunch of people from the hospitality classes over, and apparently they had a wild party, and there was a beautiful glass top stove in our apartment. When we came back, it was completely ruined because some jerks from the floor above that were part of the hospitality students, they tried burning the hookah stuff on aluminum foil on top of the glass top stove and completely ruined the stove. The aluminum essentially fried its way into the glass and made it all pitted and stuff. And so Wander and I return, and we found out that not only they had this party but ruined the stovetop, and we were just incensed because we didn't, like, we all mutually agreed that we wouldn't have drugs and stuff in the apartment. And I think it was also something that our college enforced too, but not very well, because we'd had a campus over in Croatia, and except we were living off campus in these rented houses and apartments. But, you know, we said, okay guys, you have to tell them what you did, because it's been days since this thing that you had. And the other illustration students were like, oh yeah, we'll tell them, we'll tell the landlord soon. But they never got around to it. And the other students, the ones who were actually using the hookahs, were about to leave early to go back to the United States. And at that point, we just had to force the hand and tell the landlords ourselves what they did. And I think it was worked out with the school and everything. They probably fined those students for what they did and paid back the landlord and stuff. But it was just so sad because Wander and I were like the favorite tenants of this landlord, and the fact that, yeah, we had to come forward and tell him about what our apartment mates had done to his glass top stove and everything. It's just their behavior and everything. I'm not going to say that all people that do recreational drugs and drink a lot of alcohol are bad, but the way that they conducted themselves on that trip and around us was just terrible. And one reason why I never really liked the idea of consuming anything that would alter my moods or change my perceptions of the world around me or limit my inhibitions and things, it's because I don't like the idea of something else being in control and how it can make you do things that are stupid and that you wouldn't want to do. So that's my 2 cents there. I just have really bad and negative connotations with all of that, and I understand that people do get something out of it, but that's just not for me.